Have you ever wondered why some videos just convert so well? You come across a new creator and instantly think, damn, I want to buy his product. They don't have better tips than you and their value isn't even that special, but somehow their content fuels their business and yours isn't. Over the past 3 years of making content for myself and for my clients, I try to figure out why. Why some videos sell for you and others don't. And why even though you're giving a ton of value in your content, they still don't convert. Because what I've discovered is that you've pretty much been lied to by the biggest creators in the space. They're telling you, give more value, give more tactics, give more step-by-step guides and frameworks. But in reality, what they are using to sell through their content is almost a form of art. The art of self-converting videos. So in this video, I'll show you how to master this art that sells for you without feeling like a pitch and converts viewers into clients effortlessly. Okay, first we need to understand why some videos just convert so much better than others. Because the funny thing is that even though two videos might have the same exact number of views, one might make your business thrive while the other one doesn't bring you in a single client. And it all comes down to one thing: trust. But for years, everybody has given the same advice. To build trust, you have to give value. If you just teach people what you know, they'll see you as the expert and buy from you. So most people go ahead and post tutorials. They teach people how to do X and Y. They give breakdowns, actionable advice, and think that more tips will lead to more trust. And don't get me wrong, 3 years ago this worked. Because back then, great information was still scarce. If you found someone who could explain something clearly, it instantly made them look like an authority. How-to value was enough to make someone trust you, because the information wasn't something you could just look up easily. If you gave actionable advice, you seemed like you knew your stuff, like you could actually help people. But fast forward to now, same playbook fails miserably. Like at this point, ChatGPT has become so good that you can get 90% of the tips and strategies you would give in a tutorial in 30 seconds. So if your entire value is telling people what to do and how to do it, you're competing against something that will not only always be faster than you, but also more personalized. You have to understand that in 2026, value isn't teaching people actionable advice. Value is changing the way they see their problems. Instead of telling people what to do and how to do it, you're telling them why they should do it, why certain things work better than others. And if you paid close attention, you might have realized that I'm doing this right now. Instead of telling you that you need to change the type of value you provide and then lay out how you can implement this in your content, I'm giving you a different lens to look through. I'm taking your beliefs from I need to make tutorials to I need to shift beliefs. And the interesting part is that if you implement this belief shifting value, you're also helping the viewer more. It's the difference between teaching someone how to fish versus where to fish. How to fish can be looked up easily by ChatGPT, but to know where to fish, you have to know the area and have experience actually fishing there. And this kind of knowledge is what builds real trust in 2026. That's what's valuable right now. Giving value in form of belief shifts, that's the first element of self-converting videos. Okay, next we need to talk about the way to teach belief shifts in your videos. Conversion doesn't come from lectures. It doesn't come from breaking things down logically. It comes from creating emotional connection with the viewer and actually making your value stick. And the way to do that is very simple: storytelling. I don't know about you, but when I was in school, I never remembered what I learned after class. Teachers gave arguments, logical examples, and tried to hammer lessons into our brains. On the other hand, when I watch a movie, I can remember most details right after it ended. I can remember what the motives were, what the challenges were, why the characters decided to do one thing and not another, what the moral of the story is. And not only do I remember much more, I also feel a connection with the characters. I can relate to certain actions and behaviors. I can almost see myself as the character sometimes. Especially Batman, like that's literally me. But jokes aside, that's exactly what you want to achieve in your videos. You want to build tension, have a hero and a villain, use time pressure, give personal relatable examples, use imagery and metaphors, have ups and downs, and the list goes on. Ideally, you almost want to build a mini story for each point of your body. Let's take the first part of the script I wrote for my client Joey as an example. I set up an enemy, in this case running ads. I incorporated a personal story, which lets the viewer identify with Joey. I illustrated the viewer's current situation and pain points, illustrated their dream state, and much more. And unsurprisingly, Joey does over 10k with every one of his videos, even without a massive audience. When you teach through storytelling, you don't have to scream to listen to you. You don't have to give 100 logical reasons why what you're saying is true. Your teachings seem evident and effortless, and as a result, the viewer starts adopting your beliefs and worldviews. And beliefs is what drives conversion. Now, in the past 3 years of making content and selling online, I've come to the realization that YouTube is probably the biggest cheat code when it comes to selling through organic content. But what I've noticed is that a lot of coaches know that they need to take YouTube way more seriously, but they simply feel overwhelmed by it. And you know, I understand them. Between thumbnails, script writing and editing, it's a lot. And they don't know what content they need to post, how to sell without bragging, or how to implement everything we talk about in this video effectively. So if you want to get a tailored strategy that will take your YouTube YouTube channel and your business to a whole new level. And maybe you also want to hear me out to see how I could take care of all of the content for you. Then you can book a call with the first link in the description. You hop on a call directly with me and I can walk you through what it would look like to have a YouTube channel that sells for you. Now back to the video. Next, we need to talk about soft selling. Trust in online courses or education is at an all-time low. But somehow most people think that the way to show that your offer actually works is to bombard the viewer with results, to try to convince them with success stories. You watch a YouTube video and it's great for the first few minutes, but then you start getting shown result after result, CTA after CTA, and before you know it, you feel like the only goal of the video was to get you to buy a product or book a call. And when the video comes off as such a hard pitch, it not only destroys all the trust you built so far, but it can also make you look straight up desperate. Self-converting videos on the other hand make you feel the complete opposite. They feel like the creator isn't really trying to get something from you. It feels like you're watching someone who's genuinely giving value, and the offer, it's just there in the background. And the truth is that there is a very simple way to wave social proof and results into your videos without the viewer even realizing it. And to be completely honest, I've got this tactic from Iman Gadzhi. So let's take a look at this example and see what he does.
I'm going to compare 5 different business models. And by the way, this is speaking from experience. Not a, hey, well, I think this one's harder. Or I think this, by the way, coming from someone who's made $1 million in profit with every single one of these models, literally every single one of them. And some of these models I've made up to $100 million from. So trust me, I know what I'm talking about when I speak about this. And by the way, this is so serious that at WAP, which is a company I'm a co-owner in, where people earned almost $200 million on our platform in the last 30 days. 200 million a month.
Right now we're at trailing L30 GMV is 176.
We just rolled out a payments feature that makes this model even easier.
So what Iman did here is what I like to call achievement as argument. Essentially what he does is that he uses social proof to argue why his point is true. So client results become proof of your point. Success stories become examples you can analyze, and client interviews become part of the story of the video. When you use social proof as arguments, you also ensure that the main goal of your video is to actually help people. And the funny thing is that this will also make the CTAs come across as way more natural, and by extension, convert way better. Make your social proof and CTAs blend in with the rest of the story, to ensure that your video doesn't come across as a VSL with the only goal of selling. Okay, the last element of self-converting videos is the production. Bad production quality destroys conversion. It signals that you don't really care about your appearance, your brand, and by extension, your product. Great production, on the other hand, shows that you're willing to go the extra step that most people, quite frankly, don't. Your whole brand becomes premium and destroys buyer intent. This 2025 study proves just that. They tested the impact of production quality in advertisement. And what they found is that the visual and audio quality was the biggest differentiator in purchase intention. They found that the better the production quality was, the easier the ad was to accept cognitively. The brain relaxed, skepticism dropped, and buying seemed safer. They also found that it increased positive emotions, and participants judged high quality ads as way more legit. Now, as we covered, YouTube videos shouldn't be ads, but the same principles still apply. And what generally hurts to watch is that most content agencies delegate the production of their videos for as cheap as possible. And as a result, clients get average looking videos that just get the job done. There's nothing premium about them, no intention. It feels like it was washed to be as efficient as possible. That's why when I work with my clients, production quality is a top priority. I help them build a clean recording studio if they need it. I don't delegate everything to someone halfway across the world who doesn't fully understand the vision. I create them a unique and personalized editing style that elevates a brand. Because the funny thing is that having great production quality multiplies the effect of everything else we talked about in this video. Clean audio and video quality makes a video more digestible, which builds more trust. Great video editing makes your message easier to understand. Great sound design makes the viewer feel certain emotion and therefore favors emotional connection. And even a high quality thumbnail, it doesn't just improve the performance of the video, it also makes a good first impression. So with trust in the online space being at its all-time low, if you don't put in the effort to create high quality content, viewers become more and more skeptical about your product and the chances of them buying become smaller and smaller. At its core, self-converting videos sell without trying too hard. They don't try to convince the viewer that you can help them, that you're the expert in your niche, or that your product actually works. Instead, they rely on trust, emotional connection, and focus on actually helping the viewer, all through videos that are actually entertaining to watch. Remember, if you're an online coach looking to grow your YouTube channel and business and you want all of your long-form content taken care of for you, then you can schedule a call directly with me with the top link in the description. I'll give you a clear strategy on how you can start implementing everything we talked about in this video in your content, and from there we'll see if it actually makes sense for us to work together. I'm looking forward to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next one.